Finding the perfect exercise program may be hard, but here are a few basics you must know to become self-sufficient in creating your perfect exercise routine. The first thing you have to know is you must train the muscle groups you want to grow a minimum of 2 times per week. So there's been studies done that if you want the best muscle growth results, you should be training a muscle group more than once per week, ideally 2 to 3 times. For most people, it makes more sense to train it twice per week because who's gonna hit a muscle 3 times per week, especially any type of beginner. But personally, for myself, I train forearms 3 times or 4 times a week. I train my neck 3-4 times a week. I train my traps 3-4 times a week. It's just been proven over and over again that you get nearly double the gains if you just train twice per week compared to once per week. If you bring it up to 3, it's like a 25% increase, something along those lines, and then you kind of plateau with the results. So going from 1 training session to 2 training sessions per muscle group will give you double the gains. Going from 2 to 3 will only give you 25%, and then as you go further, it only plateaus. So if you're training once per week, training twice per week is the biggest return on your time. The next thing we want to talk about is you need to evenly space out your training days. So for example, if you're a beginner and you're going to train 2 or 3 times per week, instead of training Saturday, Sunday, because oh, that's when I don't have school, or that's when I don't have university, or that's when I'm off work, you should try to train with an even space between the days. So like Monday and Thursday, because one day is nearly not enough time to recover from those exercises. This also depends on the type of split you do. So in this scenario, 2 times per week, it's best to do a full body split, right? But how are you going to recover from one full body session if you only have 24 hours to rest? It's not going to work. You're going to get very significant diminishing results. You need to give your muscles time to recover, and for that reason, you should evenly space out the days. Now, as we covered previously, you need to find a split that works for you based on your consistency. So if you're going twice a week, you should only really be doing full body. Or if you're going 3 times a week, you should try upper, lower, and then full body, or just full body 3 times a week. You know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, just 4 to 6 exercises, keep it under that, and you should be completely fine. And then lastly, anything 6 days plus, I would personally prefer doing push-pull legs. And then when I've trained something like twice per day, I would just completely have my own different split. But for the most part, anyone who is watching this video is likely to be more of a beginner or an intermediate. So stick to these guidelines and you should be okay. Now, lastly, let's talk about interfering muscles. So this is something I'm dealing with right now. I've made a split and just realized that it's very unoptimal time-wise to be training certain muscle groups and then others right after. So on one of my push days, which is primarily centered around chest, shoulders, and triceps, I'm hitting incline chest, and since I like to save time, I superset with another exercise, that being something like lateral raises. But those interfere with the incline chest press. I'm still hitting the front of the delt, and thus I get less muscle growth. So one way I'm gonna fix this in my next mesocycle, which is like an 8-week period of training before taking a break, is in that next set cycle, I'm going to replace the lateral raises with something like a bicep curl. So I'm doing incline chest, and then I'm gonna superset it with biceps. Those two muscles don't interfere with each other, and I can get my workout done twice as fast. So if you're doing any type of supersets, if you're speeding up your workout, make sure the muscles are antagonistic. They're not interfering with one another. A better example of this would be doing squats, and then right after squats, I do my neck training. There's various different variations to this, but find one that works for you. If you want to 10x your progress, press the first link in the description. We have a completely free Skool community where we have a bunch of courses. I recently made a fat loss masterclass that most people would charge hundreds of dollars for, but I'm giving it away completely for free. I'm going to soon make this community paid, so if you join now as an early adopter's gift, you're going to get free lifetime membership for the community and all the courses in there. If I give you anything of value, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to stay savvy with your diet.